Okay, let's music, right. Let's sign in. Hey, good morning, Guardians, Ghosts, and Gamers, and this is Hako, also known as ArtistPoet on PlayStation 4. So yeah, at the start of Reset yesterday, I went and checked the playlist, and it still shows that I'm restricted. Now, I don't know if Bungie the 2 week warning is like the first time you get restricted, it's 2 weeks, and then the second time afterwards is 2 months. So I'm on the second restriction, and again, this is a internet connection problem. Now, this might be their passive aggressive way of saying they think I was cheating, or they got enough responses from people reporting me that they think I'm cheating, or it might actually really just be, hey, you've been reported for having a bad connection so many times that you're going to get restricted. I still believe I was canceled by a Gambit team that I basically just owned. And damn, I should have been recording it then, but I wasn't. And it's just, after you play a certain mode long enough, even though the AI do have some variations, you learned all those variations. That's just what humans do. Pattern recognition is how we were able to develop to the point where we are right now. And it's kind of also the reason why we can't get past a certain point in our society, certain points in our societal development, because we have pattern recognition, and it's hard for us to reprogram that actually. And this is, it goes into different topics, but we're going to go ahead and check because the point being, I wasn't banned at the start of a reset. I was actually banned in the middle of a reset, and I'm thinking if this is all run by an AI or by a program of some kind, then it might be a number of fixed days as opposed to rounded off or rounded up weeks. So I should be close to the end of my restriction, but nope, still restricted. Now, about a week or two ago, I did make some comments, and I did send the appeal. And I was like, guys, if my internet is the problem and it's affecting other players, then why won't you let me just play with the people who know my internet's the problem? They know what's going on, they trust me, and they know me. So at first, I wasn't able to play private matches, but now up about a week ago or so, um, since about last week's reset, I've been able to play private matches. The unfortunate thing, though, is most of my clan mates are off doing their own shit. That's not enough to play Gambit with. I need at least 8 other guys to play Gambit with, and I could LFG for it, but there's going to be the same old problem. Someone's going to be like, yeah, this guy LFG'd, and we think he's bringing us in to test his hacks, blah, 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 whatever. So, um, as you all have recalled many times over and over, I don't raid. I can't get that catalyst because I can't defeat any guardians. Derp. Um, sorry. Um, I don't raid. I don't do Grandmaster stuff. And the reason why I don't do the raid or the Grandmaster stuff is that there hasn't been anything in any of the raids or any of these exotic items that have actually said, yes, this is strictly better than what you're playing with right now. Because now, I mean, I'm not playing with like massively awesome god roll type shit. I mean, I'll show you what I'm playing with. Ah, my back is like hella itchy to this today. It's allergy season. Good thing. Oh, by the way, if you guys ever want a really awesome back scratcher, I kid you not, go to a place that sells a variety of kitchen goods. And what you're looking for is a pasta strainer. And this thing is made out of a kind of a heavy duty plastic. It's obviously thermal treated, and it's plastic and it's rounded, but it's got these like tines that run around this frill that runs around the outside edge, of course, to pick up the pasta and drain it out. And it is better than a bamboo back scratcher, honestly. And it's got just the right length and the handle and everything so that you can get back there. But yeah, think outside the box because that's what Guardians do, and that's why I like this game so much because it does thematically and play into who I am at the core, so to speak. Anyway, I wanted to show you what my kit was. Hold on a second. Whenever I play abilities, I tend towards Bottom Tree Void Stalker, or whatever it's called, Night Stalker. Sorry. I do Middle Tree Gunslinger for the Blade Barrage, and then I do Top Tree Arc. And when I'm doing Stasis, I like to I like to play with, I think something that's kind of cool, that little shift in the background here. I like to play with Shadow Dive, even though it's gotten a little bit, well, the nerf that Shadow Dive got doesn't affect me because I'm not playing PvP with it. I personally don't like playing PvP with Stasis unless it's part of a quest. Or I had, to be more specific, Winter's Shroud, Whisper of Fissures, and then Whisper of Shards. And then I'm doing the Shurikens, Withering Blades. And then I do the Glacial Grenade because of these reasons. You know, blah blah, whatever. So looking for synergies, that's what I do. And I don't do that just in gear, I also do that with people. So my 7th Seraph Carbine is I call it my multi-tool. It's really my multi-tool. I put a counterbalance stock on it just to give it a little bit more recoil control because it has this really nice hip fire and it also has moving target. I get light mag for faster reloads, and then I used full bore for that little bit of bump in range, and it does have a range of masterwork. Now, I have not masterworked it because I am presently stockpiling enhancement cores, which is what I've been doing. Like I said, I don't play the raid, and I don't do Grandmaster this or Master that because the weapons I'm getting out of there, nothing is beating this so far. Look at that full trigger Zen moment. You know, look at that handling. Fuck me. Auto-loading holster and opening shot. I haven't put any mods on this yet because honestly, this fucker is beautiful just without it. This is my main kit right here, and it's all Seraph stuff because obviously I'm running Warmind cells with global reach. I have reactive pulse and finishable work just because I like to get up in personal. And then I use empowered finish, of course, because synergies. And then I run stompies. And this is the only exotic gear that I've learned that benefits me, benefits my playstyle. This might not work for you. You know, you might have a different approach. You might not even be playing a hunter. It's all subjective. But this is what I run with the most because I have a tendency to run out of rocket launcher ammo and linear fusion rifle ammo quite a bit. Sniper ammo, I will probably swap out the linear and the rocket for sniper stuff if I'm running a sniper for that session. But you know, whatever. Radiant Light, obviously, and then Powerful Friends. And then, of course, is all feeding off with the Charged with Light stuff. Now, I do have an alternate set of armor in here, which was my seasonal armor pieces, which, of course, I did level up because there was a lot of triumphs, achievements, and progress. There was a lot of progress, actual progress, that was tied to doing this, and that's all about the war table. When I go into heavies, I'm running the Prospector for my grenade launcher. I have Threaded Needle, in the Sleeper Simulant, which is in here because it has a catalyst. Temptation Soak for long range, and then Falling Guillotine for short range burst damage, and then of course, you know, the rocket launcher because it gets called for. Basically, my weapon choices are all based upon what Banshee is calling for in his bounties because that's what I've been doing. You know, the only activity that I can find so far in the game that means enough to me to do daily is picking up Banshee's bounties. You know, there's the auto rifle, there's a trace rifle, that's different, then the machine gun, and then we're going to do art. Okay, so I'm going to probably be pulling out the Cold Heart.
We'll be watching.
We're going to go pop over here and take a look at what's in the boxes. And let's see what we got. Oh yeah, that's garbage, of course, never mind. And let's see what Evertits over here has.
Eververse has the goods.
I like her old outfit better. Which gave more of the rogue trader kind of feel to it. That's the other part why I like Bungie's Destiny so much, is that it has a very non-space marine-y Warhammer 40,000 Edge of Humanity survival kind of thing. The other reason that I normally pick up Vanguard bounties if they apply to the open world, and I do this mainly for the XP. As you can see, I'm gradually accruing some tokens here because I'm just playing. But he doesn't offer any power. He only offers powerful gear, and it's not really even at power level. And honestly, I have all the weapons I want to play with. There isn't really much else out there that I'd want to farm for. You know, if they brought back the Black Armory, I would totally rebuild my entire stocking. I should have never deleted all of that. And actually, honestly, to be fully fair, I deleted a character who had all those weapons on him, and if I had just taken all that shit off and put it in the vault and not touched it, I would have been okay right now, because they're saying that they're not doing sunsetting anymore. Anything with 1310 as its power cap is safe for the rest of the year, basically. So what they're going to do at the end of the year, I don't know. Maybe they'll wipe the inventories like they did with Taken King, and that would be kind of, irrelevant because, well, are you going to pull shit out of people's vaults? No, but you can lock it down though. So precision enemy damage, that's good. This is all done purely for the XP. I'm not doing it for the tokens. I give fuck all for what the Vanguard's tokens can offer me. That I earn shit just in playing. Generally, you don't really need this.
Don't let it go to waste.
Mini bosses in a strike and solar kills in a strike. Now, let's see. This is a new week, so there is the Vanguard Strike Pinnacle. Yes, I am still going for the pinnacles because, yeah. See, if I did a master, if I did the 100K, I might try for the 100K with a couple of my friends, just if they've got the time, if they want to do it. I play early in the day specifically because I know my internet's the best in the day. I did improve my internet, by the way, and I did send them a note that says, "Hey guys, I've improved my internet, and why don't you come out and check it out and see maybe if you could take me off my restriction a little early." And no, not going to happen. And then one of my clanmates says, "Hey, yeah, they've been reviewing some people who recently got restricted from PvP and Gambit. They're saying it might have been an error." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's an error because my son plays on the same fucking internet that I do, and he hasn't had any problems with them." Think about that. We play in the same household. I'm the one that got restricted. This is why I say I think I got canceled. This is why I say I think I got. I am basically. I'm not going to say a victim, but I'm going to say that I am one of those randos that got picked up in the dragnet that was not really doing anything wrong. I mean, so I knew where the spawn was. So I waited for him when the klaxon went off. So I let him get close enough so that my gun shot, so that my hand cannon shot counted, and I fucking two-tapped him in the head with the malfeasance. It's not my fault that he was running a low resilience, low defense armor. It's not my fault that he knew that he didn't anticipate that someone would be sniping for him when he came through. I mean, when I invade, first thing I fucking do is I roll dodge out of the fuck away just in case someone's, scanning the area looking for me. And there's a 1 in 3 chance that I could have been at the other spots. He had a 33% chance of getting his ass sniped. The odds just happened to be in my favor. Now, the fact that that happened, multiple times in a row, I was really lucky that day. I mean, most times it doesn't really happen, but whatever. So there is the Pinnacle Strike list. So maybe I'll go ahead and I'll pick these up because this is a new week. Normally what happens is by Thursday, by Wednesday, Thursday, I'm not even bothering with strike stuff anymore because I've already gotten it. I'm at the point right now with the season where it just doesn't really matter to me much. But I am still coming in and grabbing the Banshee bounties because, the enhancement cores are going to be viable no matter what because power creep in this game. Because next season there'll be new armors and I'll need to infuse what I have this season's armor into that season's armor. And that's what I've been doing. Alright, so we're looking for a trace rifle. My son and his friends did help me get the Divinity. We did the Garden of Salvation raid, and that was wow. And honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and play with it just because it's a trace rifle and I don't have to spend shards to pull out the gold heart. And surprise, surprise, it's arc. Oh look, I have another one of these in here. Tarantula. This is my. I wish it was better, but act substitute attention contacting Destiny servers. Now that's a rarity. Oh, it's because I'm streaming and I put it into Twitter and I tagged Bungie on it, and they're probably doing shenanigans now. I don't know. Some parts of me really think that the game just doesn't really want me playing. And I'm like, if this was an offline game, if they made an offline version of Destiny that hit all the notes that the online version does, that even up to the point where you can play co-op with 2 other people, that did not focus, like, maybe if they made like a scaled down 3-man raid or something like that. Yeah, see, the internet quality is currently not sufficient to broadcast this gameplay. I'm still broadcasting though. See, I think that's the problem. I think that's what's going down, is that there's no reason for that to be happening. Because if my son was playing right now, I'd still get all that shit, but our internet's exactly the fucking same. So, what the fuck? Maybe my console's done. Let's grab him too, just because. Let's see. You know, I don't really need this in my inventory, and don't really care too much about that, because we have other 1303s. I'm not going to be doing any battlegrounds, because there's nothing tied to battlegrounds this season. You know, I'll go ahead and put that away too. Typically I like to run with 6 alts. Don't have any sniper runs, and I don't have any grenade runs, and I don't have any bow runs. I don't have any SMGs. Let's put away all the shit that I don't need to play with. Oh, excuse me. But I want to keep the things that give me the power ratings, though. So, did we say machine guns was one of the doodads? None of this requires any special weapons. Auto rifles, trace rifles, machine guns. Okay, cool. We're good. Oh, so many mogos. Keeping this because I'm using it.
We need to clear that backlog.
Alrighty, there we go. I think that's it. Now, I'm going to show you guys something. If I do any raiding, it is purely to get the spoils of war. And this is what I would be doing with it. Now, we take a look at this. Everything except for the Legend of Arceus, which, honestly, why would I care? And the Whisper of the Worm, and again, why would I care? Izanagi's Bergen is right in my playstyle. And that's the thing, is that, I mean, I used to be a collection completionist. Once upon a time, this shit would have been all done long before the season was over. See, there you go. Anarchy, the Teraba, I don't care about that. Now, the Anarchy is pretty nice. The Teraba is kind of like, I guess. Not quite, not that thrilled about it. I got everything out of here. That was pretty darn simple. And let's see, there was, again, I got this here too, the duality, because that was simple. Legacy gear. Yep. As you can see, you know, once upon a time, I was a full collection completionist. Getting kicked out of 2/3 of the game's viable activities does lots to help you hone your focus. I never really could understand the aesthetic purpose behind fasting. I got meditation. I understood meditation because it was you know, something that your body does need to do. Your body does need to have moments where you are just like there and yet not in your thoughts and just kind of relaxing. Your body does need that. Your psychology does need that. Fasting for me was kind of like, well, unless you're doing blood work or you're going in for general anesthetic surgery and they don't want you aspirating your dinner if you happen to vomit on the anesthesia. Oh my god, I can't ever fucking... Anyway, there are certain bits of Latin that I cannot say. You know, I could get that, but I never really understood the aesthetic purpose of fasting. And it's like, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder. I've never really felt like that. Absence at a certain point makes me go, meh, whatever. I didn't really need you after all, did I? Or I never really wanted you to begin with. I was just infatuated with the idea of being infatuated, or I was just interested in the idea of being interested. And there's a lot of that happens in the teenage years, and some people never get out of that. But the point is that fasting was all about, you know, strengthening. You're supposed to strengthen your spirit, supposed to purify your body, blah blah blah. And it's like, I think it actually also teaches you there are certain foods and drinks that you enjoy, that you think you must have, you don't really need. You can get by without them. And it's kind of like these people who go on these survival hikes, which is, I do that with Conan Exiles, honestly. And, or gamers doing challenges like a Nuzlocke challenge. How better are you? How much more skilled are you that you can get by with those limited resources, those narrowly focused resources? What can you do with that normally you would not think about being able to do? Like, I did a 3-week menu challenge one time where we did not buy any groceries except for the stuff that was the perishables like eggs, milk. We did our family does consume a lot of milk and it does consume a lot of eggs, and so that was the only influx of food. And I wanted to see how many weeks we could go where we only cooked where we only served what was in the house. Now, fresh fruits and vegetables, of course, that was always an intake of that. Because I don't want to like nutritionally damage us or anything. But it was impressive. I was willing to go the full month, but they were kind of like, yeah, we can't do this anymore. We want this. We want to have this. I'm like, okay, fine. But I got it. I understand. And being pulled out of 2/3 of the content in Destiny just because my internet's not enough to carry the entire rest of the 6-man team that I'm playing with, um, is kind of BS. But at the same time, it also helped me see, why do I play this game? What is it in this game that keeps pulling me back and encouraging? Oh, I do need submachine guns this time, and doesn't keep encouraging me to keep playing. I guess I'll be doing some battlegrounds. And it's the texture of the game, because the rewards are not all that great. It's the meta in the game. I'm not concerned so much about the rewards of the game as I am thinking about. Let's do this with the Seraph weapon too. Skyburner's Oath because reasons. Um, so it's the meta. It's playing around with the game pieces. Not really min maxing. I have a buddy who min maxes. He's fucking straight up, a beast about that. Um, and I guess we're done here. So yeah, like I said, being restricted to just the Vanguards type stuff has really kind of helped me focus on what is it that I like about the game. Where do I really have the most fun playing the game? Well, to be honest, I have the most fun playing this game in Gambit. It's high energy, it's high stakes. There's a lot of real risk in the game, um, activity, and while the rewards are kind of like um, watching that Primeval crumble and fall, and hearing Drifters, uh, flippant and somewhat pithily sarcastic commentary is entertaining. Um, the same for Crucible. It's not about whether or not I'm able to pull off that cross map sniper shot. It's not about whether I can out dodge the Titan or the Warlock as they're trying to super me. It's really more about is my strategy working? Is my strategy doing its thing? Oh, it said there was an event here, but I guess nobody was active in it. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so this is where I go to clear my Banshee bounties, and been doing this since
Captain,
the planet
hostile
opened up and
targets
Banshee
identified.
bounties became an interest
Their
for me.
elimination would make the area 21.3% safer.
Surprisingly. I mean, the game is all about guns, so is it any stretch of the imagination as to that I would focus on, the the center of all that culture, Banshee, the gunsmith, everything they did with Banshee, even some of the more cringy bad stuff like retooling your weapons in Destiny 1 and all that stuff with him. Everything that they've done with Banshee, I've always enjoyed, and I would like to find some other way to use mod components, because I have a fuck ton. I don't have quite as many, because I've been very selective about how I pull weapons. I don't just mass consume content here. I am being more selective with my content, in spite of the fact, and in light of the fact, that I can't just go, waste an afternoon in Gambit anymore. Which, I mean, it's not my loss. I mean, I miss it. I can't wait to get back to playing it. I'm hoping that everything will go well, and that the improvements that I've made to my network are in fact as good as they seem to be on paper, because obviously I don't have any actual stress tests in this game. Now, to be honest, ever since I did those network improvements, my my gameplay in my other games like Conan and ESO, even some of the freaking goofy arcade stuff like Pac-Man and Dig Dug, I mean, the response times that I'm getting are so much better. It does make a very big difference, seriously, dude. If you're stuck on Wi-Fi and that's just kind of the way things are going to have to be for you, get a fucking range extender. Even if you're only 1 or 2 walls away from the router, and maybe just a little bit down the hall, just get the range extender, because it does so much to help, clean up your signal and get you the responses you need. Which is why when I see attention contacting Destiny servers now and my internet's not strong enough for this shit, I know that it's actually my internet. Hey, you know what? I can't fix the infrastructure in my neighborhood, so Bungie needs to freaking understand that shit and just be more patient with that crap. Or I don't know, how about this? Why don't they go to a dedicated server model? Because coincidentally enough, the other games that don't give me any grief whatsoever for my internet are all dedicated servers, and 2 of them actually have subscription services in them. So yeah, there is that. Would I pay monthly to play this game? Yeah, if it really had some draws in it other than doing the Banshee bounties, like I said, I don't really like the raid. I loved the Vault of Glass, and it's not just because it was the first raid. It was because it was not as pretentious as all the other raids. That's really what it comes down to, is that the pretentious... Oh, you bitch. The pretentiousness of the other raids was just so... I mean, even Crotazan, as much fun as I had in that one, too, it was kind of like, way too heavy kind of feel to them. And I'm like, I don't really... The narrative in the Vault of Glass also was much better. It was the story of this fire team that went in, and one of them got pulled into out of space-time. The other one did survive, but eventually was killed by a rogue light bearer. And I know I'm supposed to be using the whatever the fuck it's called, but I've got other things I want to do here, so let's soften this motherfucker up first. Okay. Oh. Ah, missed it. Alright, let's get that little nightmare buff. I kind of enjoyed the idea that Shadowkeep has still got an influence in the game because of these nightmares. And I do think that's kind of funny. Oops, failed the grenade. So much RNG in this game. It's like, oh man, you know what? If I'm going to have this much RNG in the game, I might as well go ahead and drag out my my Fallout board game that I can solo play. You know what? It's worth it. Because they all just got massively fucked by doing that. I don't know how. Oh, that's reactive pulse. There we go. Alright. And let's see, I bet I'm like 2 shots away from fucking completing the auto rifle bounty now. Oh, I already did it. Never mind. Sorry. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to play with Divinity and see what that's supposed to do. Oh, let's shift. Let's see what we got here. We got... Oh, actually, let's take a look at it. I'm going to sculpt that today. That's what I'm going to do when I'm done with Bungie. I'm going to go ahead and sculpt that. Yeah, the Bungie single-player, co-op player offline games like Halo, like Oni, they were a lot of fun. And yeah, you play through the story, and then you go back and you play it through again on a higher order of difficulties. There's extra skulls you can pick for it, in Halo at least. And the PvP was okay in Halo. Um, I never used to be a real big PvP fan. Um, and honestly, there's a lot of it that kind of like, I just kind of gets me to the point where I'm like, I don't really want to do that. Um, but at the same time, as Destiny 2 became so PvP intensive, both with the catalysts and the weapon drops and everything else that was going on, it did become a bit of a draw. You were, oh, well, that's happened. Thank you. Uh, it became a bit of a draw to do, and I got used to doing it. Just like getting restricted from doing something makes you realize that it did slow me down progression wise. I mean, the rest of the guys that I play with, they're like twice the levels that I am in the season, and it's because they're doing, it's not just because they're doing the raids and the Grandmaster Nightfalls and all that stuff, or the Legendary Lost Sectors. It's really because they've got access to 3 times the number of bounties that I've got access to. They've got access to the Crucible bounties. They've got access to the Gambit bounties. They've had access to the Iron Banner bounties. And Iron Banner is a massive power jump for you. 4 chances at pinnacles in just 1 week. I mean, come on. And I just, and I am still a little upset about it. But to be honest, considering how I play this game right now, do I care about power? Only in the sense that it helps me do this kind of shit here faster. I mean, I think that's basically the argument that most people have about power creep. About reaching the power levels. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like at the point right now where leveling characters is leveling your character, leveling your gear. That's kind of got a as part of how you play the game. But New Guardian is like rank 1. You're only playing with common and uncommon gear. All right, you makes whites and greens basically viable and important, and you can get really good stat rolls on a common and uncommon piece of gear, but you can get also really shitty rolls too. You get more shitty rolls on uncommon and common stuff because it's common. It's the bulk. And then oops, kind of what I wanted to do. I hope that didn't affect. I don't know. Does Warmind cells count towards the gun that you're holding? Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Who knows? I have not checked, and don't really fucking care to, honestly, because I love this machine gun. This machine gun, in my opinion, is strictly better than the Hammerhead, and the Hammerhead was the only thing I ever fucking chose as a machine gun. And again, sometimes new guns come through that really are better. Other times, sometimes there's a play style or a gun style that you don't feature, but until you're forced to, and then it's like, oh, hey, this is awesome, and you grow and you learn. And that's not what I'm saying. I mean, I was not a PvP person, but they were like, come on, man, I know you like Iron Banner. Come on, let's just play some more PvP. Let's do some competitive. Let's do trials. And I'm like, okay, fine. And after about 2 or 3 rounds, I was like, yeah, this shit is like tedious, man. I do not like competitive PvP because the round-based system is so fucking tedious. I don't see him melting any faster than with my auto rifle, honestly. In fact, I probably would have destroyed him by now if I had my Prometheus lance instead, but whatever. Engram! Do we have my power weapon back? Is auto-loading holster. It's just reflex to fucking dodge when I pick up my heavy, so I make sure it's reloaded. That's the other thing too. I mean, as a hunter playing, marksman's dodge in the most builds, I don't really care too much about reloaded perks, but having having the ability to, reload twice within, a pass is really good. It's perfect. So yeah, after about nearly 2 months, oh, that's what I was going to do. Because I figured it out that I have like 3 weeks left in the season. I think I should be coming off restriction by next week, if I counted it right. But it's hard to say. Where is the season pass time spent? Oh yeah, we got 40. Oh wow, I got lots more time to go. Because the way I counted it out is I'll have one Iron Banner opportunity, and by that time it's not going to make a difference, because I'm at 1304 right now, as you can tell, because your season pass will show you what your average level is, sans artifact. So see, like 1303. But if you equip all the other stuff, yeah, 1304. So it's like I could probably gap up. I could probably gap up my chest piece, but that's not really much, I mean, let me see. If I could get to 13.5, that would be better. Yeah, see, I could pull the chest piece out and infuse that in. That'll be a good bump. I could do that before I do my. I'll just start doing that. I'll start pulling the pieces out. Now, here's the thing. This is a level 66. Okay. I'm only pulling it into my inventory. I was going to infuse it, but then I remembered. Wait! Don't do that. Don't do that, because this piece of armor is only level 63. Overall stats are better here. So, and this is basically all skins. This is all skins. So, yeah. Higher strength, higher mobility, shittier resilience. Oh my gods. And of course that element change. If I'm going to do this, I might keep this for something else. But, I mean, yeah, I'm just going to keep it like that. Let's just do that. Alright, so we're going to go check our bounty progression. What are we playing with now? Trace rifle is the last thing I got to do. And then I still have the warrior to pick up another fucking piece of gear that I'm just going to fucking crunch for crystals. La 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 la. And I'm actually almost done. It's like barely 45 minutes, and I'm almost done. And that's cool, because it means that, this is kind of the way I used to play video games. I didn't really binge the game unless it was late evening and I had opportunity to do so. Oh, come on. There we go. The other thing about armor pool is, you want to make sure you pick an armor that not only benefits your playstyle, but the stats are in that same bracket. It's good to have high stat armor, but when it's like hella pushing on one or two stats, you want to be kind of careful about that, You don't want to pick a high stat armor just because it has a higher overall stat value if the elements that you play are at the low end. I am conscious about intellect, and I am conscious about discipline, but I do use my strength roll quite a bit more on stasis and my solar abilities. Don't use strength roll too much on my arc, but I do play